Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're back into this thing, and yes, the Pittsburgh Pirates are once again in the cellar, and we can blame a lot of people for this one. So I'm going to make this first reaction pretty much. I did work through the week, and now this is my time that I can actually do this. So let's finalize everything that's going down. The Pirates finished 71-91. Worse than the last 2 years. They were like, I believe, 76-86. And this year was a major regression. Even if it was 71 wins, it's 71-91. And a lot of people are to blame, but you can't be blaming Paul Skeens. You can't be blaming a lot of the hitting staff or anything like that, though they do have a lot of issues because they were in the bottom tier of offense and home run slugging and a couple others in major league. And you know something's up when your RBI leader is Brian Reynolds and he only had 73. And he's a vital piece of that organization. So a lot of things have just recently just gone down now that the regular season's over, postseason has begun, and the Pirates and Pirate fans were all waiting for something to happen, like Ben Cherington should be fired. And a lot of things happen over this weekend as I do this video. Major thing is Don Kelly, the manager, is going to stick around. That's not a surprise because he did, in fact, although he had a losing record when he took over for Derek Shelton, there was a change in the dugout in the clubhouse, and everybody likes playing for Don Kelly, and there's no shame in him coming back. That's a good call. The other thing is the one everybody in Pittsburgh is literally losing and turning gray on. Ben Cherington is coming back. You regressed. You had a drop in attendance. You were dead last. You're actually 26th. Dead last in runs scored, home runs, slugging percentage. And Ben Cherington's coming back. And President Travis Williams said, we can't fire Ben Cherington because it would be a setback. I saw somebody on the North Shore Pirates page on Facebook say, we already are in a setback. You know something's wrong when Cincinnati is 21st in payroll and they've squeaked into the playoffs. And you took two or three from them down the stretch, just making their job even tougher before Cincinnati got into the playoffs, and then they squeaked in, and then they got steamrolled by the Dodgers. Ben Cherington's coming back, and it's basically Bob's move. Ben Cherington is Bob's guy. It wouldn't matter if he got fired because Bob will just find another guy to be a Bob guy and just listen to what Bob wants done, and he'll just do it. Because we all know the whole thing about Bob Nutting. Cheapest owner in the league next to John Fisher. But that'll change when they go to Vegas, but that's still 3 years away. Bob, let's put it this way about Bob, and then I'll get to Ben. When Bob took over the team and ownership in January of 2009, his total games that he has as ownership, 2973. I just looked this up. He's 1354 and 1619. That's a 45% win rate since he's been owner. The only possible great thing out of that entire stretch is the 3 years they made the playoffs, and 1 year they won over 90 games, but they got knocked in the wild card round. And a lovely thing about Ben Cherington, since he took over in 2019 as general manager from Neil Huntington, Ben Cherington, people have to realize, Ben worked for the Red Sox when the Red Sox won the World Series recently. But Ben, when he took over for the Pirates, he's 365 and 505. That's 870 total games. He's only won 365. That's a 41% win percentage. His run differential is minus 763, and he's coming back because firing him would be a setback. I don't know what to. I think everybody kind of figured he wasn't going to move and he wasn't going to get fired because he has 2 years left on his contract. But here's good old Bob, still trying to save money. I don't know if he's got stash of this revenue sharing somewhere in an island near Guam. I don't know. but he's not helped this team. Ben has not helped this team. He may have made Paul Skeens a star, bringing him up and getting good arms. They just have no bats. They have a few, but they don't hit when they need to. And people are mad about, O'Neal Cruz is inconsistent, but he went to the All-Star game, had a good showing. They were thinking about trading Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds didn't want to get moved. He did not want to go to the Yankees. He did not want to go to a big-time market. He likes where he's at. He's kind of like Mike Trout. Mike Trout could win a World Series anywhere. You don't want to leave Anaheim. And Anaheim's not anywhere, shape, or form anywhere close to where the Dodgers are. They are 27th in payroll. It was right around 87 to 88, 89 million. They will not ever budge. Bob Nutting will not budge. I've made a handful of videos about this on my channel. But they're addressing so many things, like they've already fired pitching coaches and hitting coaches already. But Don Kelly keeps his job, which is fine. Don Kelly might even get his own people, which is another kind of a thing. If Ben lets him do that, that's fine. But there's people saying, oh, the fences need moved in PNC. No, ballpark's fine. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. You don't need to do that. I don't know how Bob is really feeling, because I have a feeling they say that him and Travis Williams, the president, Ben Cherington, the general manager, are all saying we have to start being more aggressive. The one comment was, this is unacceptable. We're making the playoffs next year. Meanwhile, you're calling this out when you are managing you are putting together this payroll. Here's the thing, I don't understand why Bob is having a rough time with this. San Diego is a small market, but they're around 6th, 7th in payroll, because they're not afraid to take big swings. They're paying Tatis, they're paying Manny Machado, they're paying, I think, Borges, I think, and those guys are making over 100-some million, almost 200 million. They just got beat by the Cubs, but they're not afraid to take big swings. That San Diego, the Padres, besides a soccer team, that's all the Padres have. But they're not afraid to take a big swing. The Pirates will never take those swings. It's like I read somebody said that Pete Alonso is going to be a free agent. After the season was over, the Mets failed. Mets fired half of their staff, and Pete already said, I'm going to test the free agent market. If I'm Ben Cherington, you take a swing at Pete Alonso. I don't care if you have horrits. Go make a big swing. Even if you don't land him, take a shot at a handful of people, because there's teasing Bob is thinking, oh, Andrew McCutchen's not coming back. I'm not paying him that much money to be a DH. I am not losing track because quite honestly, the Pirates have very, very high hopes with their pitching staff, because if it's Skeens, if it's Bubba Chandler, Jared Jones comes back, you're probably going to deal Mitch Keller. But if you do, you need to get decency in return, because apparently that's what the world of the interweb, and that's probably what Ben was probably going to do anyway, but he didn't do it because of crazy crap or whatever. But in the end of the day, the Pirates are once again that tire fire everybody loves. And I'll close this bar down and just by saying that there needs to be some movement. Obviously, no one's going to save them from Bob. No one's going to buy the team from Bob, because Bob says, I know more about this. I'm the only voice that matters. Well, here's the thing to look at. You're 27th in payroll. It's pretty bad. If Miami, who is dead last in payroll, had a better year than you. Milwaukee is 23rd. They're the best team in baseball. Number 1 overall seed. Cleveland, who just lost to Detroit, was 25th. Cincinnati is 21st. They snuck and backed their way into the wild card. They got killed by the Dodgers, but small market teams can do it. Small market teams can win a World Series. Remember a decade ago, Kansas City won the World Series with small ball and a bullpen and a bunch of lawn furniture. There's those billboards that say, sell the team. We have a long way to go before that happens. Pirate fans, stay humble, stay current, stay consistent. We're going to be fine, but we have a long way to go. Bars closed.